Please, one more time for tonight's national anthem performer, Nicole Kyle.
Pleasant good evening from Madison, where a pair of squads on opposite ends of the USL League One's playoff line meet for the first time this season. It's Forward Madison hosting Westchester, and tonight's match is presented by Dairyland Insurance. We say hello and welcome from Bree Stevens Field. I'm Sam Goldfarb. Here is your look at the Dairyland Insurance standings. Forward Madison sits in the top 4, riding a ridiculous vein of form at the moment, and they're comfortable inside the playoff places as things stand. Meanwhile, Westchester languishing in 12th at the moment. They need 3 points to kickstart a push towards the postseason. And it is a Madison squad that, as we mentioned, in the form of its season right now, the most informed team in the league. They're riding a wave of 8 consecutive matches without a defeat in all competitions, and the highlight of which a 5-2 throttling of Chattanooga Red Wolves on Wednesday night. And it's coincided with a massive spurt of goals in this stretch. 26 goals over the course of the last 8 games for the Mingos, outscoring opponents by 17 tallies in that span. It is a team that can score in bunches, and they've shown it over the course of this stretch. And someone who has scored in bunches of late is Ryan Carmichael. 5 goals in the last 3 matches, including the club's first ever hat trick on Wednesday night in that victory over Chattanooga. A player who Matt Glazer says has all the tools, but now his confidence has hit a new gear, and that is the biggest reason for this production. On the opposite end of things for Westchester, it's been a bit more of an up and down campaign, but back-to-back road draws for the first time this season. A team that had lost their previous 7 matches away from home, but starting to show an ability to contend on the road. George Jokai mentioning how sometimes the energy drains at the tail end of these fixtures, but it has been better of late. And Connor McGlynn is pretty much what everything runs through for Westchester, a complete midfielder who, by the way, is in the center of the Golden Boot race. George Jokai saying he's the most complete midfielder, arguably, in USL League One. Well, we are just about set to get everything underway from Madtown. Madison looking to make it 9 without defeat across all comps. They take on a side that toppled them on this very ground a year ago. Lineups and kickoff when we return.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget. And 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Kick your excitement into high gear with the Nissan Kicks. Zimbrick Nissan. Find more kicks to choose from. Zimbrick Nissan. From people who know kicks inside and out. Zimbrick Nissan at the best kicks price. Zimbrick Nissan. Save more and shop more selection at Zimbrick Nissan, Madison's favorite Nissan dealer. Get a Kicks with Nissan Safety Shield 360 and intelligent all-wheel drive. At Zimbrick Eastside off High Crossing. Best of Madison and People's Choice winner 2024.
We welcome you back to Madison, where it's time for our starting lineups, and Forward Madison making 5 changes from Wednesday's victory over Chattanooga. The front three looks a little different. Hakeem Karamoko partnered by Mark Segbers. You may see Segbers drop a little deeper into midfield, and this will elbow into a 3-5-2. Meanwhile, Colin McCamey is back in the heart of defense after coming on as a substitute earlier in the week. On the opposite end of things, for George Jokai and Westchester, a similar setup to their scoreless draw at AB Alta last Saturday night, a 4-2-3-1. Back into a 4-back tonight after spending a long period of time in a 3-back setup. You see Jonathan Jimenez leading the line for the second consecutive fixture. Daniel Baumann steps into midfield after a prolonged spell in the heart of that back three. Just about ready to get everything underway here from Breese Stevens Field. The first of 2 meetings this year between Westchester and Forward Madison. It will be the visitors, the Golden Apple, going from left to right. They will get us underway in their white strips. Forward Madison in their 100th anniversary Breese Stevens Field kits from right to left. And we are underway here from Breese Stevens Field. Forward Madison looking to continue their red-hot streak. Westchester hoping for a first road victory in over a year's time. Sam Goldfarb, thanking you for joining us. Should be an interesting one. The Madison squad that, as we spotlighted off the top, 7 wins in their last 8 across all competitions. And they put 5 past one of the best defensive outfits in the league on Wednesday night. Take on a Westchester squad that has been through its ups and downs. That's a late challenge from Baumann on Mark Segbers. Already a real concern for the 30-year-old former championship standout. That's a late tackle by Baumann. Doesn't catch him very high, so I don't think a red card would be a proper decision. Does get some of the ball as well. Bare minimum, maybe a yellow card is worth considering, but gets off scot-free. The challenge is already flying in thick and fast. It's the first touch from Karamoko, the DC United loanee. Back in the lineup after a match on the subs bench. This has slipped in and charged away by Luca Marinelli, who's taken over the #1 goalkeeping position and made it his own for Westchester. This is now his 13th start in league play between the sticks. for the Milford, Connecticut native, who has played previous starter Andrew Hammersley out of the squad since joining the club when both goalkeepers on Westchester's initial roster, Hammersley and Molina, went down. And George Jokai saying for now he's the #1, loves his proactivity between the sticks and his aggressiveness coming off his line. Zegbers seems no worse for wear after that earlier challenge. Well, fans, it is now time for our keys to the match, which are presented by the Burish Group at UBS. For Forward Madison, being patient in the build is crucial. They feel Westchester is going to sit off and absorb pressure, so they need to be disciplined in the build. Meanwhile, for Westchester, being organized in their arrest defense for an entire 90 minutes is critical. George Jokai has spoken about over the course of these road fixtures. They've often seen their energy drop and their focus drop in the final 20, 30 minutes or so. They cannot afford that to happen here, especially against a team in the form Madison is, in the goal-scoring form they're in specifically. A team that's even shown their ability to come back from a deficit. Let's charge forward, but Tim Timchenko is there first. 5-2 victory over Chattanooga Wednesday. They fell behind 2-1 after taking the early lead, and they managed to flip it pretty quickly back in their favor. Led by halftime, went up scoring 4 unanswered in what amounted to a complete throttling of Chattanooga Red Wolves, a team that has conceded just 17 goals prior to Wednesday night. Blazers saying the side is even confident when they fall behind because they know the goals can come en masse, and that was the case earlier in the week. There's Connor McGlynn, enters the night joint top the USL League One's goal-scoring leaderboard. Not often you see a center midfielder who often sits deeper, like McGlynn does, in the heart of the Golden Boot race. Here's Evans. He was offside. There is your look at the star man for Westchester, Kyle Evans. He's someone that George Jokai says he was shocked he was able to bring in at this level. And while the final third production has fluctuated, so has his positioning. Someone who currently lines up on the flanks tonight, but George Jokai feels is at his best as a box-to-box 8. Had a goal and an assist in that throttling of New York Cosmos last Wednesday night. Had a 3-0 victory that is the headliner of this mini 3-match unbeaten run. It's a Westchester squad that has struggled to come across wins, especially on the road. Have not won a road fixture since June 18th of 2025 on this very ground. The lone time these two teams played at Bree Stevens Field a year ago. Since then, 13 road defeats and 5 draws. Maybe, though, things will come full circle this evening. Torres is fouled. Well, fans, it's now time for our injury report presented by UW Health Sports Medicine. None officially reported for either side, but there are some absences from the squad for Madison in particular. Of course, Derek Gebhard once again is out. That is a active recovery process that he's still undergoing. In addition to that, Humphrey, Forbes, or Moccasin in the squad. Westchester themselves, outside of Mo Williams, getting far healthier than they were earlier in the season. At one point, traveled to AC Boise with fewer than 18 players in the squad available. About 14 outfield players healthy for that fixture in mid-April. Jennings. Diaz is fired into by Jackson Castro. Armas springs this forward towards Evans, but off his line to collect is JT Harms. One of the many off-season additions for Forward Madison, JT Harms, 24 years old. Solid when tested, 9th in the league in saves, a save rate that is just north of 70%. Joined the club after spending his first pro season in MLS Next Pro with North Texas. He's one of many additions out of the Next Pro ranks that have flourished under Matt Glazer's tutelage. Carmichael is this back off to Ramon Torres, who's joint top of the league in assists. And it is a late challenge that catches the 24-year-old. And the match's first yellow card brandished as a result. It is Bobby Pierre who enters the book for Westchester. First man to be cautioned on either side. Key member of Madison's engine room is still down on the deck. Just shy of the 10-minute threshold. And for those joining us here in Madison, we welcome you to Bree Stevens Field. Forward Madison and Westchester locking horns as this is given away. Karamoko toward the byline. Ran out of real estate on the far side, and it was defended well by Bobby Pierre. Here is the first real touch from McGlynn, who sachets through pressure with expertise. Talking to George Jokai about Connor McGlynn this week. I asked him in particular why he feels McGlynn's been able to be so successful, even out of open play as a goal scorer, despite being in a deeper lying role. And he spoke a lot about how McGlynn just has a nose for danger and has had a little more freedom to roam forward with the system they've currently employed the last couple months, the three-back setup that let him roam from midfield. But also, he just knows when to join the attack, has that innate sense of when he's needed as a delayed runner, and that's benefited himself personally as well as this Westchester entity as a club. This is Evans. The flag stays down. Diaz stood up by Castro. Outright for Noah Powder, the Trinidad and Tobago international. Inventive ball there from McGlynn. It does track it down, keep it in play. Powder. Evans. His cross was eye-catching, but no one there to greet it in white. Well, fans, this message is brought to you by TrueStage. TrueStage offers insurance and financial services built to support life's many stages. Whether it's protecting today, planning for tomorrow, or preparing for what's ahead, TrueStage helps people move forward with confidence. Learn more about insurance and financial solutions designed for real life at TrueStage.com. 10 minutes into this first of two meetings between Westchester and Madison. As we mentioned earlier, Westchester, their last road victory 409 nights ago, came on this ground in June. So perhaps a bit of revenge on Madison's minds, even though it is an entirely new look squad from the one that took the pitch that night. Evans looks for Jonathan Jimenez. Nearly got on the end of it, but Kafala Toure does well in the end. For all the talk about Forward Madison's flourishing run, they won 7 of 8, scored 26 goals in that span. Westchester struggling defensively. Carmichael was looking to exploit that. But Westchester themselves, they've been through more of the ringer this year. It is by no means the team that finished bottom of the USL League One table a year ago, which was considered a major disappointment given the sheer investment and the type of players they brought in from across the league. This year they've pivoted to a younger squad, one that can cover more ground. George Jokai mentioning that defensive organization and effort off the ball is the name of the game, including pressing, which is something that he felt a year ago under different leadership was disregarded at times. He says it's no disrespect to anyone that came before him, but his system is built on the energy and effort out of possession. I've been through, though, similar spells without wins, and this recent stretch where they've ripped off 3 consecutive results and have kept back-to-back clean sheets has been a real boon for them as they head into one of the fixtures they'd have circled. As Carmichael tried for an audacious one, and he wasn't that far off. If Ryan Carmichael had put this on frame, it would have been rather remarkable. You look at the Dairyland instant replay, he catches it flush on the volley, and it's dipping, just doesn't dip in time. The form he's in, can't fault him for having a crack. Armas. Jennings. Player George Jokai describes as relentless, but he loses out to Kanyane here. Castro, with plenty of runners in support, goes wide for Ryan Carmichael in space. And Carmichael has a crack. Rolls tamely, though, to Luca Marinelli. It's the simplest save he'll have to make this evening. Westchester themselves coming off the back of a scoreless draw at AV Alta to finish off a multi-match week. Defeated their rivals in New York Cosmos 3-0 last Wednesday before earning that hard-fought point. It was a point George Jokai felt was a fortunate one, but he'll take it nonetheless. This is Diaz now for the Golden Apple, and he wins the match's first corner for Westchester. Will be Noah Powder to take this. He's one of the carryovers from a season ago for Westchester, a team that also overhauled in the winter. Finally getting a consistent run of fixtures back in the squad. It's an in-swinger that comes to the back post. It was spilled by Harms, but he was fouled in the process. And it's a let-off for the Madison goalkeeper. Well, they crowd the penalty area here, and right around the goal mouth. Doesn't look like there's a lot in that from Bobby Pierre, but enough for our official to blow the whistle and call it dead. Here's Toure. He's enjoyed quite the last 2 weeks. Brace in the Henny Derby on July 15th against Richmond Kickers, and then scoring the equalizer on Wednesday night. It's been something of a set-piece savant for the league set-piece savants. Madison squad that has been exceptional. 13 goals now off dead ball situations. That is a rare errant ball, though, from Jackson Castro. Jimenez. This is Max Jennings. Real Monarchs in the offseason. Diaz. Jennings. Cammy makes himself an obstacle. Pounder. There's Timchenko. It's a loose ball, first time. Well, fans, you can watch the USL on CBSSN August 5th for a crucial League One showdown. Richmond Kickers host newcomer New York Cosmos as both teams fight for much-needed points in their quest to climb up the standings. Wednesday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on CBSSN. It's an intriguing one. You have the history element at play. Of course, Richmond Kickers, one of the longest continuously operating clubs in American soccer. Not to mention New York Cosmos and the legacy they carry dating back to the 1970s when Pelé and Franz Beckenbauer laced them up for what was the most glamorous club in world football. That should be a real intriguing one to watch on national TV next week. This is Kanyane from Madison. And McCamey providing an overlap. This cross in was well off the mark for anyone in the blue. Castro wins it back. Kanyane once more. Diaz handled that situation with aplomb. Then sent to the deck by Carmichael. It has been an interesting last 6-7 months or so for forward Madison. A squad last year that was built on the old guard, a complement of players who had been around for 2-3 years with the club, and despite all of the quality they had on the roster, Karamoko is clattered into by Bobby Pierre, and that is a second yellow card. And Bobby Pierre has been sent off on 20 minutes. That is an eyebrow-raising decision from our referee. Certainly leaves one in late on Hakeem Karamoko, but it doesn't appear there's a lot egregious in that. But Asad Osmanovic sees it differently, and he immediately produces the second yellow. And Westchester will play the remainder of this one down to 10 men. And their road woes definitely look more likely to continue now. He is incensed, Bobby Pierre. He certainly does leave one late on Karamoko, but he is going for the ball, and I think that's his case. Not to mention, it's not like the contact was that egregious, but it is a late challenge, and he's already on a yellow card. And you'll have to watch the rest of this one from the dressing room with the rest of us. Sets up Madison just outside the penalty area with a really inviting set-piece position. Ramon Torres and Geny Kanyane both stand in the vicinity of it. This favors the left foot of Geny Kanyane. Asad Osmanovic is still taking time to sort everything out. He will draw the ire of the Westchester fans watching from home, no doubt. But he was decisive, did not hesitate to brandish that second yellow towards Bobby Pierre. It certainly sets the tone for the remainder of this one. Late challenges might not be tolerated. So Kanyane and Torres over it. It's Kanyane who sprays it in. Headed away by Noah Powder. Only as far as Eddie Munjoma, though. Torres, appetizing ball in. Nearly fell for Kevin Carmichael. It's a collision of bodies, and Jimenez eventually will alleviate the pressure and win the free kick. It's not a bad ball here, especially off the bounce from Ramon Torres. And then you just see Kerfala Toure dive in. I think the Westchester players are saying that if Pierre was booked for the challenge he was moments ago, perhaps Toure should have seen yellow as well. Luca Marinelli, meanwhile, after all of that chaos, is still down on the deck. For Golden Apple's side that already has dealt with injury issues to their goalkeepers this year, this is the last sight George Jokai wants. So Luca Marinelli, the 23-year-old who just turned 23 years old on Wednesday, he's being tended to by the physios. And there is your look at the first-year headman for Westchester. George Jokai was tasked with completely overhauling this project. It's a Westchester squad that, as we mentioned a year ago, built on experienced players, and it struggled. George Jokai comes in, greeted by a number of players based locally out of the Westchester area, and he's made a real habit of bringing in players with ties to Westchester County in New York, be it from the college ranks to growing up in Westchester. He says that he not only sees this as an opportunity for this club to compete and win matches, but he also sees it as a beacon of opportunity for local talent. And we've seen the ups and downs results-wise, but he feels they can really turn this ship around and make inroads on the playoff chase. George Jokai did say a few weeks ago, prior to the Cosmos match, when they had only won one of their previous 6 league matches, that he feels in the second half of the season they are going to surprise a lot of teams, because in many ways the law of fortune went against them in the first half of the year. They lost 6 matches decided by a goal this season. In a lot of those matches, he feels they were good enough not just to get a point, but to win them. He said he felt the AV Alta fixture, a match where they were clearly second best at the weekend, was a sign of perhaps the law of averages kicking in a little bit. They'll have to spend the majority of this one down a man without the ball, and you just wonder, especially for a team that has already struggled to protect results away from home over the course of the last year, if they have the legs for that sort of undertaking. Bauman. McGlynn. Armas. This is Max Jennings, former draft pick in the 70s in the MLS Super Drafts. Diaz. The ball deflected. And Toure is almost shoved off it by Jonathan Jimenez. Segbers, see him dropping a little deeper into midfield. He's been historically more of a fullback or a wingback, especially during his days in USL Championship, but they're trying to protect his legs a touch more. He's returning from a series of injuries throughout his time with Memphis 901 FC and Charleston Battery in particular last year. So Matt Glazer being careful with his minutes and also his role in this Madison squad. Of course, his versatility still allows him to be effective as a disruptor in midfield. There's McCamey. Kevin Carmichael, out wide to Ryan Carmichael. Two of them linked up on Madison's first goal Wednesday night. Torres flips it over the top to Segbers. Tim Timchenko marshals that situation well. It is out for Madison's first corner. And fans, Canopy Wealth Management is donating $50 to Ford Madison FC's mini pitch fundraising event for each home corner kick taken by FMFC. It is Madison's first Canopy Wealth Management corner kick of the night, and it comes just shy of 30 minutes. Kenny Kanyane, unsurprisingly, on in-swinging corner kick duty once again. It's a Madison squad that has scored a league-high 10 goals from corner kicks this season. Sprays it in, doesn't clear the first line though, and Armas away. Munjoma floats this back into the court of uncertainty. It was nearly spilled by the goalkeeper, but he ultimately pounces on it. Luca Marinelli does well. Here's another look. It's an inviting ball from Munjoma, and it hangs up for a while. Just see Kerfala Toure clatter into Marinelli. Ultimately takes that contact. Well, fans, watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Just shy of a half hour gone here at Bree Stevens Field. Sam Goldfarb taking you through this one. First meeting of two between Ford Madison and Westchester. And already an eyebrow-raising moment. Bobby Pierre sent off with a second yellow card on 20 minutes. So Westchester forced to play the remaining 70 of this one down a man. And already in a match where they've been under pressure for consistently long windows of time. That workload will only take additional effect in the legs as this wears on. It's about the last thing you would want if you're George Jokai for a myriad of reasons beyond the fact that you're down a man. Carmichael switches the play for Kenny Kanyane. Gets it back. Glazer has talked about how this system gives him so much freedom to roam. Ryan Carmichael, it's a fluid system. Now Kevin Carmichael, a deflected cross and another corner. Second Canopy Wealth Management corner kick in rapid succession, and it comes right in front of the flock end. More target practice for Kenny Kanyane. It's another in-swinger, this one with more venom, but it's right at Marinelli. Only as far as Ramon Torres, though. Kanyane again. Jackson Castro. His cross deflected awkwardly. Rolls to Marinelli. Well, fans, smart design, everyday comfort, fun to drive, and a price that makes sense at Zimbrick Volkswagen in Middleton. Jimenez links up well with Max Jennings. McGlynn. Noah Powder bombing forward now for the Golden Apple. And this is Evans. The lightning rod for Westchester. Lays it off to Connor McGlynn. Right at Harmsdale. And the first shot of note is a comfortable save for Madison's goalkeeper. Decent half chance this. Evans does all the hard work, and all McGlynn has to do is run onto it. He's trying to shape it up and pick out the bottom corner, but doesn't quite catch it right, and it is comfortable for JT Harms as a result. Munjoma. Wanted the run of Karamoko, who does run into the goalkeeper, and Karamoko rolls it into the back of the net. Westchester stops expecting a whistle, and they pay the price. 1-0 Madison. It is the most routine finish Hakeem Karamoko will have in Madison colors. It's a miscommunication, and Bauman doesn't claim it, neither does Marinelli. And that slight bit of contact, not enough for Asadamanovic to take this goal off. It's 1-0 to Madison, and it's Hakeem Karamoko once again for the Mingos. You just see the widespread confusion. Marinelli is apoplectic that a foul on him was not given, but it must be said the contact is very light, and Hakeem Karamoko gets on the score sheet for the Mingos. His third goal of the season. He's now find the back of the net for 3 times in the last 4 contests, and that goal presented by Lexus. It is Hakeem Karamoko, who joined on loan from DC United on May 27th after spending his first pro season with DC United. He was drafted 10th overall in the MLS Super Draft, but dealt pretty long-term knee injury, and he's still working his way back to full fitness as you see Jimenez leaves one late on harms. Matt Glazer's talked about how he's still building his level up. Someone who began his time with the club as a regularly used second-half substitute, but since he's broken into the lineup more frequently, started to find the goals. And after not logging any sort of goal contributions Wednesday night, he picks up the form that saw him score in back-to-back contests prior. There is the difference-making moment. It's a Madison squad that is exceptional around the late stages of the first half and the early stages of the second, and they flash that medal again around a similar point in the match. Here's Diaz. 10-man Westchester with work to do now. We're looking for Jimenez. Arms there first. And he lofts it brilliantly to Karamoko. Timchenko had some work to do there. Now it's turned over. Carmichael driving forward. Ryan Carmichael blocked at the source, but headed along. Falls for Karamoko! And it's a second for Madison! A brace for Karamoko in rapid succession. And they've absolutely blasted through Westchester here. 2-0. Well, now it's a question of whether it stands, and they're saying the offside flag was raised. And so that second from Hakeem Karamoko is waved off. It was a late flag, and that explains the displeasure of the Madison faithful. It remains 1-0. So Westchester spared their blushes, caught in a moment of disorganization. The entire flock interrupted. Was a second goal for about 15 seconds before finally the referee acknowledged that offside flag. Well, another look at this. It's a flick on. This is awfully tight. To the naked eye, it appeared Karamoko might have timed his run well enough, but to our linesman, it appears he didn't. Now a set piece for Westchester. This is driven goalward. Comes out to Karamoko, who saw a second scrapped off the board moments ago. And there are numbers for Madison, but the ball from Kanyate underweighted. Jennings. Switches the play for Diaz. Has runners in support as well. McGlynn. Diaz. Dancing through traffic. And that was clipped toward the back post, but beyond the reach of Bauman. Well, fans, Bayer Insurance is a proud sponsor of Ford Madison FC and is based in Madison. It has provided protection and peace of mind to businesses and individuals throughout the state of Wisconsin since 1928. For those that have just joined us, we welcome you to Madison, Wisconsin. It is just 1-0 to the Ford Madison Mingos at the moment. The goal scored by Hakeem Karamoko on 32 minutes. Moments ago, though, the offside flag denying him a second. Fans fully rejoiced. He wheeled away in celebration. Took about 15 seconds, 10-15 seconds for the referee to fully acknowledge that the offside flag was up, and he took it off as a result. And Madison continues to push on. Manjoma. Karamoko, the goal scorer. Castro on the edge of the area. Castro has a crack. Not far off. Well, another look at this. You just see a cut back to Castro, who puts his laces through it. There would have been no chance for Marinelli had he picked out the top left corner, but narrowly missed it. Jimenez. Diaz. It's right into Eddie Manjoma. Really interesting journey for Eddie Manjoma. Now at 28 years of age, multiple years banked in USL Championship, but he himself moved down to League One last year, initially in a 25-day contract, and tore his ACL very early in the 2025 campaign. He spent a long time working his way back. Matt Glazer saying he's really never seen a player take ownership of recovery process from an injury that substantial under his tutelage, like Manjoma has. He says he finally looks like the Eddie Manjoma of old. As Karamoko slides this in to Castro. There's just one too many bodies in the mix. Torres. Castro. He and Ramon Torres are starting to dictate this fixture, as many would have expected entering the night. Kevin Carmichael picks out Ryan Carmichael. His cross was a dangerous one, but no one there to knock it home. And for now, Westchester remains in the fixture. Torres is looking for Karamoko. Instead, it's easy for Marinelli. Kanyane. Just see Hakeem Karamoko making all of those selfless runs and pressing so aggressively out of possession. And that's what Matt Glazer talked about, him rebuilding his legs after coming back from that injury. He says football at the professional level is about high-intensity actions and repeating them at high intensity. And that's ultimately what they've been working about with Karamoko to get him back up to full strength. Here's Segbers, touches it back to Castro. Another laser-like effort that sails wide, but Jackson Castro picking up all of the spaces on the edge of the area. Clever from Segbers, just lays it off right into his path and gives him a free runway, and that just whistles wide of the left post. Right now, forward Madison are threatening at every twist and turn. We tick towards the 45-minute threshold. Here's Madison, 1-0 to the good. Hakeem Karamoko, the difference maker on 32 minutes, had a second taken from him about 10 to 15 seconds after he put it in the back of the net. 3 minutes later, Madison has run the match ever since. Offside flag denying Karamoko a brace and denying Madison insurance. Keep in mind, Madison also up a man because Bobby Pierre sent off in a rather controversial second yellow card in the 20th minute. So they've been chasing it pretty much ever since. Long throw potential here for Alexi Armas. Get the quarter of uncertainty. Karamoko looking to clear. Instead, Jennings. Toure away. Carmichael was tugged. That allows them to alleviate the pressure. Well, just 3 minutes of Just Coffee cooperative stoppage time separate us from intermission. Well, fans, it's winning time presented by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Scan the QR code on screen or visit FordMadisonFC.com/winning-time for your chance to win your favorite Ford Madison FC kit. $100 in rewards play and $50 in food and beverage credit redeemable at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. One lucky winner will be chosen on the Monday after tonight's match. Does Madison have one final chance up its sleeve before we reach halftime? Will it just be the narrow margin at intermission? Ryan Carmichael is in behind and the flag is down. Carmichael wins a corner. The third Canopy Wealth Management corner kick of the match. Final crack at things before halftime for Kenny Kanyane. In swinger, away by Jennings. Didn't play by Kanyane though. This cross dangerous and just headed over. Colin McCamey was there. Madison just continues to twist the screws, and if you're Westchester, it's a minor miracle you're not multiple goals down. Offside flag coming to their rescue. and a number of chances that have just narrowly missed, either gone wide or narrowly over in the case of McCammy's moments ago. We remain in a somewhat tightly contested affair, despite the fact Madison has had the better of it. Here's McGlynn. It's likely the final sojourn forward of the first half. Jennings looks long. Jimenez is well off the pace there. That will take us into intermission. For Madison, a narrow 1-0 cushion, and it was a goal that was taken well by Hakeem Karamoko after issues in the back from Westchester. Westchester going down a man and then going down a goal before halftime, but it could have certainly been more. At intermission, our scoreline reads Ford Madison 1, Westchester 0. It's been a fun one thus far. Madison on the front foot from the get-go, especially since the red card to Bobby Pierre and Hakeem Karamoko breaking through on 32 minutes. We'll take a quick breather here from Madison. When we return, a look around USL League One.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours. Experience the fair trade difference yourself. Just Coffee. We do justice from the grounds up.
Come see how Dairyland fits your life. With affordable car insurance that fits your budget. And 24/7 customer service that fits your schedule. Even if you have coverage lapses or a bumpy driving history, we've got you covered. For 70 years, we've been helping people just like you get the car insurance they need. So why wait? Contact Dairyland today.
Kick your excitement into high gear with the Nissan Kicks. Zimbrick Nissan. Find more kicks to choose from. Zimbrick Nissan. From people who know kicks inside and out. Zimbrick Nissan at the best kicks price. Zimbrick Nissan. Save more and shop more selection at Zimbrick Nissan, Madison's favorite Nissan dealer. Get a Kicks with Nissan Safety Shield 360 and intelligent all-wheel drive. At Zimbrick Eastside off High Crossing. Best of Madison and People's Choice winner 2024.
We are back here in Madison. We're at halftime, presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative. Ford Madison leads 1-0 against Westchester SC. And now it's time to take a look around the USL and take a look at the future of the United Soccer League. A number of new stadiums popping up and have already been constructed as well. Take a look.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
They are more than shiny and new. The latest collection of brand new stadiums in USL are a commitment to communities. Fans in Boise have set attendance records. Finishing touches greet the fans in Fort Wayne weekly. In Greenville, Triumph fans are in love with their permanent new home. These projects take time and patience, but nothing gets a community excited like seeing a shovel in the ground. Detroit City of the USL Championship has gone from dreams to renderings to construction. At its recent groundbreaking in Southwest Detroit, Alumni Phi Stadium became a vision for the very near future.
We've been incredibly fortunate to create something that's way bigger than us, and that we have the great fortune of being stewards of it. And the stadium represents really an investment in that community, an investment in this neighborhood, a tremendous investment in the city, and something that will be around for generations to come.
With this stadium, the club is investing in its future and demonstrating a long-term commitment to building a sustainable, community-driven club. I'm excited for what the future holds for Detroit City. I can't wait to be back here for the opening match in 2028. And I want to say congratulations to the fans, supporters, ownership group, and the entire community that made this amazing new home possible.
At 15,000 seats, Alumni Phi raises the bar for Detroit City. Soon there will be more groundbreakings and sounds of stadium construction as USL gets closer to the launch of Premier.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee.
TrueStage aspires to be the most trusted insurance and financial services provider. For more than 90 years, our work has been guided by the philosophy of people helping people. Today, we help protect more than 39 million customers through every stage of their financial lives. Our suite of protection solutions is designed to grow over the long term, and we're continually evolving to serve our partners and their customers better. Together, we can create more access, more stability, and more confidence. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Welcome back to Madison. We're at halftime, presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative. Forward Madison holds a narrow 1-0 advantage over 10-man Westchester SC. And now it's time to take a look at our out-of-town scores presented by DCRA. A number of fixtures ongoing in USL League One at the moment, the highlight of which is Charlotte Independence battering the defending champions by a 3-1 scoreline. Their red-hot form continues. Meanwhile, Greenville just equalized moments ago against Portland Hearts of Pine. So that scoreline is actually now 3-3. Meanwhile, the Sarasota-Naples match, the battle for paradise, postponed until later. And now time for our upcoming schedule presented by Dairyland Insurance. Forward Madison travels to Boise next Saturday night for an 8:30 Central Time kickoff. Then matches against Greenville, Portland, and Charlotte to round out this busy slate in the first half of August. That is your look at the upcoming picture for Forward Madison, as well as the current state of USL League One this match week. Well, now it's time to take another quick breather here from Madison, Wisconsin, when we return to look back at the first half that was from Breese Stevens Field. Stick with us.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 years. We work with farmers from grower co-ops all over the world to support their communities as well as ours.
TrueStage aspires to be the most trusted insurance and financial services provider. For more than 90 years, our work has been guided by the philosophy of people helping people. Today, we help protect more than 39 million customers through every stage of their financial lives. Our suite of protection solutions is designed to grow over the long term, and we're continually evolving to serve our partners and their customers better. Together, we can create more access, more stability, and more confidence. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Kick your excitement into high gear with the Nissan Kicks. Zimbrick Nissan. Find more kicks to choose from. Zimbrick Nissan. From people who know kicks inside and out. Zimbrick Nissan at the best kicks price. Zimbrick Nissan. Save more and shop more selection at Zimbrick Nissan, Madison's favorite Nissan dealer. Get a Kicks with Nissan Safety Shield 360 and intelligent all-wheel drive. At Zimbrick Eastside off High Crossing. Best of Madison and People's Choice winner 2024.
Welcome back to Madison, where at halftime it is a narrow advantage for Ford Madison, presented by Just Coffee Cooperative. It's been a fun one at Bree Stevens Field. The Mingos lead 10-man Westchester. It's now time to get a look back at our first half highlights, presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative. A number of standout moments in that first half, the bulk of which have gone Madison's way. We picked things up early on in the 13th minute. Madison just pushing on and setting the tone early and often. Ryan Carmichael, this half volley effort that just sailed a touch over the crossbar. Block end here in Madison. The fans always out in full force to support their group. It has been one of the better support groups in the league since Forward Madison was initially announced in 2018 ahead of the league's inaugural season in 2019. They've been a fixture of the division ever since, and it's a successful club, Forward Madison, one that fancies themselves continual postseason contenders, reached the playoffs in back-to-back years in 2023 and 2024. They were a penalty shootout away from the final in the latter year before last season's disappointment, in which they were told they needed to overhaul the team based on competitive feedback on the pitch, and they did just that. Only one returning starter in the form of Derek Gebhard, and they have built a winning squad out of a number of players that have been overlooked at various other destinations. They've become a winning outfit on the pitch. Westchester hearing word has made a change. It is Noah Powder who exits for Charlie Dickerson. Dickerson making his return from a prolonged injury absence. This is a like-for-like change at left back. It is Dickerson's first appearance in the last 5 matches. It's good to see him back and ready to roll for the Golden Apple. So Dickerson on for Noah Powder. That substitution presented by Festival Foods, and we just await our referee Asad Omanovic's signal to get everything underway here in the second half. It is Madison going from left to right. It is Westchester from right to left. Will it be Madison seeing this out for an 8th win in the last 9 across all comps, or will Westchester play spoiler at Bree Stevens for the 2nd consecutive year? We are back underway, and we will get the answer to those questions in about 45 minutes. Sam Goldfarb thanking you for joining us for the remainder of this one. Hakeem Karamoko, the difference maker on 32 minutes, had a goal disallowed 3 minutes later as well. 10-man Westchester, who have been down to 10 since the 20th minute, have plenty of work to do if they hope to salvage anything from this fixture. Look at the first half numbers. They jump off the page. Madison, of course, dominant in every regard except the shots tally. On top of that, when you look at XG, Madison's XG at 1.00, and even 1 goal. Westchester at 0.02. It about tells you who had the better of the chances and the better of the action in those opening 45 minutes. Toure looks forward for Hakeem Karamoko. Still Bauman's there first. Toure. It's a Madison squad that created so many quality chances, especially outside the penalty area. Jackson Castro had a number of cracks from long distance that just sailed wide. Manjoma. Ryan Carmichael. Goes out to Miguel Diaz. Charges ahead for the Golden Apple here. Kevin Carmichael impedes his progress and is shown Madison's first yellow of the evening. So he'll have to walk the tightrope for the remainder of this one. Kevin Carmichael, one of the many additions out of the next pro ranks, has been a regular on that Madison back three, the back three shape that has been a staple of Matt Glazer's squad since he took charge ahead of the 2022 campaign. It's Alexei Armas who will get us back underway. It's headed behind for Westchester's first quarter of this second half. It's Alexei Armas who stands over this corner for Westchester. It's an in-swinger to the back post and punched away by Harms. Well dealt with by the Madison goalkeeper. You have to wonder what George Chokai's approach will be in this second half, because obviously his side cannot afford to overextend themselves, especially down a man, and risk being punctured on the counter, because Madison's at their best, according to Matt Glazer, when they can play vertically and get at you in space. Players like Ryan Carmichael thrive in those pockets. With that being said, though, they do need to find some sort of equalizer before the 90 minutes are up. So you fancy set pieces and long throws to be the primary medium by which they could procure that. It's Armas with the long throw. Flick on header, but that is routine for JT Harms. And now he launches it long looking for Karamoko. And Menez all the way back doing his defensive duties from the striker spot. And it's turned over. Munjoma. Menez flips it towards Miguel Diaz. Kevin Carmichael wins that foot race. But it is important to note that the last road victory for Westchester forced them to come from behind on this very ground. Now, they fell behind earlier in the match, after just 3 minutes to be precise, on a penalty kick at Bree Stevens Field a year ago. And then they managed to score twice before intermission. So this would require a later turnaround and more adversity down to 10 men. It's not something that they haven't done before in terms of winning at this field in this sort of manner. That is the last time they won a road fixture on June 18th, 2025. It's been 18 matches since, 13 defeats in that span. Most recently, a scoreless draw at AV Alta after they had a 2-1 lead at then league leaders Union Omaha. Torres' long throw. Toure gets ahead to it. Armas out of danger. Kanyane. It's a deflected cross. Armas can't play out of the pressure, though. And then he shoves Castro to the deck. Karamoko, the lone goal scorer. Evans. Well, for those that have just joined us, hello from Madtown. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action for Madison. A 1-0 cushion, courtesy of Hakeem Karamoko in the 32nd minute. Westchester going down to 10 men. Bobby Pierre sent off with a second yellow card about 12 minutes before that. And they've been fighting an uphill battle ever since. Evans is clipped at the legs by McCamey. And a yellow card shown to the second of Madison's 3 center backs. So it is McCamey and Carmichael, both in the book now. Another look here at the Dairyland instant replay. It is a late tackle from McCamey, and a referee's been consistent about this. Late challenges will be punished. He punishes another one there. Diaz, he's in behind for Westchester. Miguel Diaz cuts it across, and McGlynn skies it. That a golden chance to level the scoreline for the league's joint top goal scorer. Another look here, you see Diaz just catch it in behind, and Madison scrambling for the first time tonight, but McGlynn catches it almost too flush, gets underneath it, and Kanyane may have done just enough to put him off. Can put a pin in that moment. Just wonder how much that comes back to bite them. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Kevin Carmichael, not been shy about venturing further into the attacking third over the course of this winning run. Matt Glazer's credited a lot of this to his team gaining confidence from playing at home consistently and getting used to the playing surface. And also, it's just been an uptick across the board. A team that has learned to break down opponents in a myriad of ways, be it from set pieces, open play, the counterattack, going direct. He says that this side just has a knack for being able to produce goals in more ways than one. He also has credited a number of players that have stepped up their play over this stretch. Ryan Carmichael's the headliner, but he's not the only player that is producing at a heightened clip of late. Diaz wins this back, and the referee plays advantage. Armas going for goal with arms off his line, just over. And now the referee may come back to that earlier challenge. It was Ramon Torres who was booked. So Torres booked for the foul, and that's what the referee came back to. You see Armas, he did not miss this by much. A couple steps inside midfield and lets it rip, and he had JT Harms retreating. Slowly, the yellow card starting to accumulate for Madison. A key member of their engine room in Ramon Torres is now on a yellow himself. Sadamanovic has not been shy about producing the yellow card, even with players on a yellow. So that is something everybody will have to monitor from here on out. This is McCamey. It's cross deflected. Bellman there first. Castro. Kevin Carmichael. Jackson Castro entangles himself from Armas, and that's an inviting set piece position for Madison. We showed you those set piece goal numbers earlier in the night. 13 of Madison's 34 goals from dead ball restart situations. 10 of which have come from corners. That was not the finest of dead ball restarts for the Mingos by any means. Marinelli under pressure. Well, fans, this message is brought to you by TrueStage. TrueStage offers insurance and financial services built to support life's many stages. Whether it's protecting today, planning for tomorrow, or preparing for what's ahead, TrueStage helps people move forward with confidence. Learn more about insurance and financial solutions designed for real life at TrueStage.com. Ticking towards the hour mark, it is still 1-0 to Forward Madison. The goal scored by Hakeem Karamoko in the 32nd minute to break through against then 10-men Westchester. Golden Apple still grappling with a man disadvantage and now having to chase this to salvage anything. Some enjoyment on it here, though. Connor McGlynn did have a big chance about 5 minutes ago to level things as well. So they've not been willing acceptors of their fate by any means. And Dickerson has won yet another free kick for Westchester. Alexi Armas over this for the Golden Apple. Curling ball, right at Harms though. Madison is now readying two changes themselves. Stephen Anor and Josh Bulma getting set to enter for Hakeem Karamoko and Mark Segbers. Munjoma. Torres sprays it wide to Kanyane, who does reach it. Kanyane's cross, punched away. Comes out to McGlynn. Space for Diaz to sprint the other direction. He is certainly at his best in the open field. Too many Madison kits in the mix, though. And the changes will take place now. So it's the end of the night for Hakeem Karamoko, whose goal currently breaks the deadlock between the two sides, and as he continues to build up the minutes, the performances continue to improve. Meanwhile, in addition to that, Mark Segbers, who also is getting back to full match fitness, replaced by Josh Bulma. So Bulma and Anor on, Karamoko and Segbers off. Both changes presented by Festival Foods. Talk about the depth in this Madison squad. Depth in League One is a luxury, and anytime you can bring Bulma and Anor off the bench, two players who have played big minutes in the starting lineup relatively recently, in fact, as recently as Wednesday night, it just speaks to the sheer level of talent you have at your disposal if you're Matt Glazer. And for all of the talk about some of the teams atop the table, the likes of Union Omaha and Charlotte, who of course are in red-hot form, Forward Madison is the quiet, dark horse that many aren't discussing enough. If this result holds, they would climb to third in the league table, given the result that is currently taking place between Charlotte and One Knox. They would overtake One Knox for third in the table. Put them in the catbird seat for not just a home quarterfinal match, but potentially a home semifinal if the 2 seed were to get upset. In League One, the parity is just so vast. Diaz, clever change of pace. Cross that is too tight on Harms. Right idea, though, from the 25-year-old. There's Kevin Carmichael for Madison. Munjoma. Torres. It's a vertical ball towards an Orgianfi, and this time there's no debate about whether he's offside or not. Well, fan soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more with SeatGeek, the #1 ticketing site and your ticket to great seats. Timchenko navigates out of traffic seamlessly there. Bauman drives through the heart of the Madison midfield. Armas. Diaz. Bauman. Toure tracks him step for step. Anytime you look at Forward Madison's numbers, they jump off the board, especially the goal numbers relative to their XG. XG is obviously a stat that only tells you a little. It's not the fully telling metric, but Forward Madison, their XG is at 26.02 for the season entering tonight. They entered the evening with 34 goals. That is a remarkable overperformance of nearly 8 goals over their XG entering the evening. And they've added another goal to their ledger tonight as they push closer to Charlotte to move top of the league in goals. And with the way they started the season, really struggling to break teams down and heavily reliant on set pieces to do so, that is a remarkable development. It just speaks to how well this unit in particular has gelled and the real potential for a special campaign come October, November in Madison. Castro. Drives it forward. It's broken up by Bauman. McGlynn navigates through that well and now clips it up towards Jonathan Jimenez. And Jimenez does get there. Jimenez looking to cut it across and instead wins the corner. And there are signs of life from Westchester here. Their second corner of this second half. And Alexi Armas getting a crack at things from the near side. What does Armas have in his locker on this in-swinger? Puts his laces through it to the back post. There is a man down for Westchester. The referee unmoved from the contact on McGlynn, though. Dickerson. His cross not shabby either. Comes out to Josh Bulma, though. And that is a lovely tackle from Kyle Evans, doing his defensive work. And now Evans has a crack right at Harms, but another positive half chance for the Golden Apple as they continue to grow into this down to 10 men. It is a fixture where the tide, you just sense, is ever so slightly shifting, despite the plight Westchester finds themselves in at the moment. It is a game effort, even since going down. Carmichael loses his footing. Ball was won cleanly. Dickerson. Evans couldn't quite take it down out of the sky. Look at the numbers. When Madison takes the lead, they're typically pretty secure in protecting it, especially at home. It would take a real feat for Westchester to not just salvage something, but to potentially flip the script. Forward ball towards Ryan Carmichael, who's forced wide. It's a decent cross, but Marinelli is there to pounce. It's the Forward Madison squad that ranks middle of the pack in terms of points dropped from winning positions. Just 7 on the year. Through 16 league matches entering the evening, that is by no means shabby. especially during the recent run. Whenever they've jumped in front, they've usually found a second to kill it off rather quickly. Chattanooga match, of course, case in point, in a back and forth affair in which they fell behind 2-1 after going 1-0 up. They scored 4 unanswered. Sometimes the best defense is an elite level attack. Torres. Ryan Carmichael cuts inside. Bolma. Comfortable for Marinelli. It's a positive move there from the Mingos. It's a double change for Madison. Claudel and Gubu and A.J. Edwards are entering. It looks like Munjoma, the first to make way, and Edwards, who opened the year as a regular starter at right wing back before suffering injury, replaces the 28-year-old. Meanwhile, it's the end of the road for Jackson Castro. A strong performance from the 23-year-old engine in midfield. He is replaced by Claudel and Gubu, a listed forward. Madison is addressing the current situation by throwing another attacker into the mix and chasing a layer of insurance. They do not want to invite Westchester back into this match by any means. So it's a quartet of Anor Giamfi, Bolma, and Gubu, and Ryan Carmichael all sharing the pitch at once. Bolma may move into the heart of midfield, someone who has played in center mid during his time in the MLS Next Pro ranks. It seems to be where he'll take up residence. Ryan Carmichael, low cross, cut out. Bolma takes up that spot alongside Torres at center mid. Nowadays, ball forward cut out by Jennings. Evans, and that's a very strong touch. And he continues on for the Golden Apple. Fouled by Ramon Torres, who's already on a yellow. It's a decision that the home fans are displeased with. Can Armas conjure from this dead ball scenario? He's had many opportunities to calibrate his delivery. And as we head into the final 20 minutes, Westchester still within striking distance. Arcs it into the mix to Bellman. Just over. A golden chance to level the scoreline, but it sails mercifully above the crossbar. Daniel Bauman has shown his capacity to score on headers in the past. Scored an equalizer at Omaha a few weeks back in that 2-2 draw. Nearly made it a second in 4 games. And Gubu racing with Jennings. And he gets there with his long strides. Bolma. Torres. There's A.J. Edwards, the substitute. By the way, both those subs moments ago, Bolma and Gubu entering, both presented by Festival Foods. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL MLS Premier League and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the Sirius XM app. We are well inside the final 20 minutes from Breese Stevens Field, and for those just flipping on your television screens, we welcome you to Madison, Wisconsin. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action where 10-man Westchester narrowly trails 11-man forward Madison. The goal scored by Hakeem Karamoko on 32 minutes as a yellow card shown to Edwards for tugging the shirt of Miguel Diaz, and the substitute in the book with one of his first involvements. As this wears on, the number of Madison players walking that tightrope grows gradually. This is well done by Diaz. Plays a dummy and lets it run and gets wrong side of Edwards. Anytime you tug the shirt, it's an instant yellow card. And he is the latest Mingo to be booked. And as this wears on, you'd have to figure nerves setting in on the Flock end, because even though their side has been the better of the two entities from day dot, it just takes one moment to change the entire complexion of a match. Armas, it's a dipping ball, but one that doesn't trouble the Madison back line. And here is Bulma, charging ahead and looking to switch the play with options. Claudel and Gubu. Clever to Carmichael. Kevin Carmichael forward. Ramon Torres. His clip cross to Ryan Carmichael, just over his head. And it is Madison's first Canopy Wealth Management corner kick of the second half. This was a five-star break. Kevin Carmichael lofting it to Torres, who exercises patience, gets to the byline. This is well weighted and well placed, and Carmichael just mistimes his jump. A player in flying form, nearly adding that coveted layer of insurance. And now it gives us a chance to tell you, Canopy Wealth Management is donating $50 to Forward Madison FC's mini pitch fundraising project for each home corner kick taken by FMFC. It will be Ramon Torres who puts this into the quarter of uncertainty. Near post and headed over. Smart design, everyday comfort, fun to drive, and a price that makes sense at Zimbrick Volkswagen in Middleton. "15 minutes remain. Hakeem Karamoko's goal still makes the difference. A Madison side that has been so prolific at home. 27 goals now over the last 9 games across all competitions in league and cup play. A 30th would put it to bed. Right now they're reliant on a back line that has kept more clean sheets during this unbeaten run, but it's one that also was breached twice on Wednesday and showed some susceptibility from set pieces. It is, though, a team that boasts the joint best defense in the league in Forward Madison, so a squad that is organized with and without the ball. Edwards, Bulma's first time ball in behind for Ngubu. The Frenchman. Edwards, a first time cross. Bulma gets there. Bulma goes for goal. Bulma goes for goal again, off the crossbar, falls for Carmichael and just over. Best chance of the second half for Forward Madison. Josh Bulma's tenacity, he just follows it, curls it brilliantly. It was nearly a sensational finish, and then over the top for Carmichael. Statement of intent, though, for Madison. They will not sit on this 1-0 lead. And being up a man, can you really fault them for trying to chase it? If they can see this out, it would be a remarkable milestone for Forward Madison. A squad that would win their 7th straight match across all competitions and their 6th straight in league play. As we mentioned, it would catapult them to 3rd in the table. Diaz with other ideas. Driving at Edwards. Diaz across. Ran all the way through. There was a man in white lingering. Armas. Charges through close quarters. McCamey there. And the referee plays advantage. And Gubu, acres of space. Stephen Anor-Giamfi. Touches it by Dickerson. Anor-Giamfi. Dickerson defending it well. But tracked down by Josh Bolma. They are first to every first and second ball. Kanyane. Ryan Carmichael. Ryan Carmichael! Just wide.
Westchester has 6 substitutions in the 79th minute. On for number
Triple change now coming for Westchester after that Carmichael chance went by the wayside. Samori Powder, Erman Makic, and Dean Guzin all in as the Golden Apple chase this. It is a trio of attacking changes. Alexi Armas and Miguel Diaz are the first 2 to exit, as they bring off defense-minded players for an attack-minded trio, because Timchenko also exits. So Makic, Guzin, and Powder on. Diaz, Armas, Timchenko off. All 3 changes presented by Festival Foods. And now is the time where George Jokai throws caution to the wind. It does appear they've changed one of those subs, because now Kyle Evans has exited instead.
And on for number 83, Kyle Evans. Number 18, Erman Makic.
So instead of Miguel Diaz, it is Kyle Evans who exits. It's an interesting change to bring Kyle Evans off, someone who's used to going the full 90, but he saw his influence wane as this wore on. Guzin does like to play on the left flank. Diaz is sent tumbling, but here is Guzin once again. So for a refresher, it's Evans now off, as is Timchenko. And Armas for that aforementioned trio of Samori Powder, Erman Makic, and Dean Guzin. There were 3 Festival Food substitutions. Edwards looking long for Ryan Carmichael, who's timed his run well. Ryan Carmichael with support. Carmichael, effort deflected. Another corner for Madison. Before this corner can be taken, the referee is just sorting a few things out. Ramon Torres exits, and it's a defense-minded change from Matt Glazer. Jalen Shannon, who went the full 90 minutes against Chattanooga on Wednesday, steps in for Torres. Maybe this signifies Madison looking to lock up shop and provide more size on set pieces such as this one. It's Bolma, who delivers within swing to the heart of the area. No one can redirect it. Carmichael was amongst the chaos. And it's taken quickly by Marinelli. Bolma and Gubu. Kevin Carmichael. Kevin Carmichael. It's a direct ball towards Ngubu. Marinelli reads it well, though. If this ends in defeat for Westchester, it will be a 19th road match without a win, dating back to, as we mentioned, the last time these two teams played at Breese Stevens in June of 2025. Different management back then, and different complement of personnel as well. And it's a performance that at times has been game, but not enough. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Diaz is shoved to the deck by Anor Giamfi. Some of these dead ball restarts are cheaply conceded as far as Madison is concerned. Because as we mentioned, Westchester out of the open run of play, especially in the first half, did not create very much. It's been dead ball restarts where they've been able to ask questions. In the second, they've been better across the board. It's given away to Ngubu, though. Bolma has it taken away. Powder sprints forward for Westchester. Someone with a worldie or two in his right boot. Jimenez. Guzin. Dean Guzin. Dickerson. Back to Guzin. Dutch standout. Dickerson. Ngubu looks for the escape hatch in the form of Kanyane, and he does keep it in play. Jennings gets there first, though. Daniel Burko will now enter the action. It is the first time we've seen a proper number 9 for the Golden Apple, and he replaces Miguel Diaz, the Hofstra University product who scored double-digit goals a year ago for the Pride, played a key role in that 2025 NCAA tournament run to the Sweet 16. He's on for Diaz, and that substitution presented by Festival Foods. That is one of the last rolls of the dice from George Jokai. McCamey. Even still, Madison looks the likelier to score. Bolma. Kanyane. Kevin Carmichael splits the lines for Colin McCamey in a more advanced role. And now McCamey has a hit. Comfortable for Marinelli. Not a bad shout. Jennings is clearly feeling the effects of these 85 minutes he's played. Just soldiering through as the gas begins to run out for Westchester. Anor Giamfi keeps it in play. Anor Giamfi to wrap it up, and he does. There is the second for Madison, and the layer of insurance they so desperately coveted. The Mingos continue to soar. A second tonight to wrap it up, and it's Anor Giamfi who just flashes the tenacity required to touch it beyond Dickerson and roll it past Luca Marinelli. It will be a 9th consecutive without defeat for Forward Madison. It will be an 8th win in that span, and that goal presented by Lexus. A 6th goal of the season for Steven Enorgianfi, who joined the club after spending his first 2 seasons in Houston Dynamo's organization, but struggled to carve out a regular role in the first team. And Matt Glazer making a call to him this winter to convince him of this Forward Madison project. And he convinced him well, and Enorgianfi is one of the many players that have led this score-by-committee approach for a Mingo's side that has rapidly become one of the must-see squads in USL League One. Enorgianfi on 87 minutes, and Madison has surely put this to bed now. Guzin. Can he add a layer of intrigue before all is said and done? Instead, it's turned over, and there's plenty racing the other way. Shannon and Ryan Carmichael. This is Ryan Carmichael looking to add an exclamation point, but Dickerson does well. It's out for another corner. All this night is missing is another goal from Ryan Carmichael. Instead, we get a Canopy Wealth Management corner kick after Carmichael kick-starts the break. Taken short. Bolma. Kanyane. Low cross. Cleared only as far as Cullen McCamey. Floated ball that's just flicked in behind. We will run it right back.
All corner kicks this season are sponsored by Canopy Wealth Management.
Madison now in no rush to take any of these. They've grabbed the second. And now in possession to climb to 3rd in the USL League One table. In-swinger from Kanyane. Jan Kerfala-Toure, who does keep it in play. Edwards back into the quarter of uncertainty. Instead, Jimenez can escort the other direction. Jalen Shannon first to it. You just see that added layer of energy from Madison. They've come with the batteries charged. That was something that George Jokai was worried about. He says they're a more athletic team on paper. They're a team that we need to match with energy, and they unfortunately have not done that here, especially in the late stages. Madison just pouncing on every 50-50 ball and recycling possession, and anytime you're down to 10 for the final 70 minutes of a fixture, it makes life difficult. Tonight is case in point. McGlynn sprays it wide to Samori Powder. 4 minutes of Just Coffee cooperative stoppage time. Here is McGlynn, has a pop! Not far off, and Harm's got a touch to it. It is a corner. Here's an in-swinger. Flick to the back post, and it is charged out of danger. Powder goes at it, and Harms awkwardly pushes it behind. Westchester in a mad dash to create a roadmap back into it. Samori Powder headed away, flicked back in. Edwards can bash out of danger. And there are numbers racing onto it. This is Claudel Ngubu. A first-time ball in behind for Ryan Carmichael. Just overhit. And now the numbers rush forward to join him. Carmichael's cross. Marinelli read it the whole way. End to end in the dying embers. McGlynn. Guzin. Midway through the added 4 minutes. Any hope of salvaging something waning for Westchester. That's over Bauman's head, but he keeps it in play. And now the referee pulls the action back. Well, fans, it's winning time presented by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit FordMadisonFC.com/winning-time for your chance to win $50 in food and beverage credit and $100 in rewards play and your favorite Ford Madison FC kit. All of those redeemable at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. One lucky winner will be chosen on the Monday after tonight's match. Madison a minute away from making it 9 without defeat across all competitions, and yet another league victory, and it's become a party-like atmosphere at Breese Stevens Field. The fans getting involved. Madison has turned this building back into a fortress again. There's a player down for Westchester before all is said and done. Keep in mind, many of these defenders have spent long periods of time doing high-intensity running as they just try to remain in the fixture down to 10 men. They've been down a man since Bobby Pierre was sent off on 20 minutes. And it appears Alexei Armas is the man down. So Alexei Armas was subbed off. It is not Armas, it's Max Jennings, perhaps, who's down for Westchester, and he's played every minute, sprinting up and down the pitch. He's now being tended to by the physios. So Jennings back to his feet, and for now he will try and soldier this out. We're now beyond the added 4 minutes, and likely about 45 seconds left to actually be played on the pitch. Well, it's just a question of how much time separates Madison from their 6th consecutive league win. Kubu flick snap behind. And it is now all at our referee's discretion. Bulma. An eye-popping cameo since coming on in the second half. Lays it back to A.J. Edwards. Well beyond the added 4. It's one of the final sojourns forward, surely. And Makic looks wide. Burko turning through traffic. Burko goes down. Referee unmoved and waves play on. And now the other direction, a number of Madison players sprint. This is Ryan Carmichael looking at another tally to his ledger. Finds Bulma. First time cut back intercepted. And there is the full-time whistle. What a night in Madison. A 6th consecutive league win, a 9th straight match without defeat, and they prevail in 2-0 fashion. Hakeem Karamoko on 32 minutes and Stephen Inorgiamphi wrapping it up on the 87-minute mark. And it is another happy night in the Midwest for the Mingos faithful. It's now time to get a look at our standout performers and our standout performances. A Ford Madison squad that boasts a number of standout talents but our man of the match presented by Bayer Insurance. Well, it is Hakeem Karamoko. He scored the opener. Ramon Torres, who's on your screen, did play a big role in creating a number of the opportunities that presented themselves. So all in all, a strong display from this Madison squad, and our play of the match provided by Hakeem Karamoko, presented by Dairyland Insurance. It's the opening goal in the 32nd minute. It's just a calamity of errors at the back. Karamoko, Johnny in the spot, and he drives it into the bottom right corner. That our play of the match presented by Dairyland Insurance. Yes, gets a little bit of an assist from the two defenders and the goalkeeper, but he won't care. The DC United loanee adding another tally to his ledger and continuing his budding form. And then our save of the game is also presented by the Johnson Financial Group. We'll get a look at that in a matter of moments. It is JT Harms who provided our save of the game. He made 5 saves tonight, which is an impressive tally for someone who's not usually tested between the sticks for a very organized Madison back line. You look at the save of the game, it was a rather eye-catching stop. It was a snapshot from Connor McGlynn, and it did force Harms in action quickly, but he pulled off the stop brilliantly. That is our save of the match, presented by the Johnson Financial Group, and it is part of a clean sheet that is also presented by the Johnson Financial Group. It is a party all around. Madison keeping a 5th clean sheet of the year, and JT Harms has provided all 5 while playing every minute in league play. Well, that is where we will leave things at full time. Forward Madison wins 2-0, courtesy of goals from Hakeem Karamoko and Stephen Enor. We'll step aside briefly, and when we return to look back at the 90 minutes that just transpired from Breese Stevens Field, we'll be right back after a party in Madison.
Getting the exact vehicle you want is easy at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton. Come in and sit down with one of our sales professionals and build the Volkswagen you want. Pick all the features, order it, and then sit back and relax, knowing you're getting your dream vehicle. The best things in life are worth waiting for after all. Check out our selection online or in person, with new vehicles arriving every day. Your perfect Volkswagen could already be waiting for you at Zimbrick Volkswagen of Middleton.
Welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, home of Just Coffee, a worker cooperative roasting fresh, quality, 100% fair trade coffee for over 20 pounds up.
TrueStage aspires to be the most trusted insurance and financial services provider. For more than 90 years, our work has been guided by the philosophy of people helping people. Today, we help protect more than 39 million customers through every stage of their financial lives. Our suite of protection solutions is designed to grow over the long term, and we're continually evolving to serve our partners and their customers better. Together, we can create more access, more stability, and more confidence. Learn more at TrueStage.com.
Welcome back to Madison, where the good times continue as we turn the calendar to August. Forward Madison wins a 6th straight league match and makes it 9 consecutive across all comps without defeat as they win 2-0. As you get a look at our full-time score presented by Rhyme. And now let's take a look at how the 90 minutes all unfolded on an eventful night at Breese Stevens Field with our full-time highlights presented by the Just Coffee Cooperative. They got off to a fast start 32 minutes in. It's a calamity of errors at the back. A miscommunication between Timchenko, Bauman, and the goalkeeper Marinelli, and Hakeem Karamoko pounces to roll it into the bottom right corner. It's a relatively fortunate turn of events for Karamoko, but he's the only one that doesn't hesitate, and he's the one that is rewarded. And then on 86 minutes, with Madison pushing forward and clawing for insurance, they found it. The long throw, Nor Giampi first to it, and then finishes from a tight angle, kisses it off the near post, it rolls to the far post, and he wraps it up. It's a striker's finish from the substitute who adds his 6th goal of the season, and Madison wraps up the points 4 minutes from full time. Just a strong display across the board for this Madison group. Even though they missed a number of chances to add further goals, they take care of business and polish it off late. And now let's get a look at our full-time stats presented by Rhyme. Yes, Westchester had more shots. Madison, though, the better of the two squads. It finishes 2-0, more of the possession, more of the shots on goal, and more of the corners as well. Westchester really struggled to procure set pieces. All in all, a controlled performance from Madison, who, yes, did benefit from the second yellow card to Bobby Pierre just 20 minutes in, but they took advantage of that, and they flashed their shooting boots when it mattered most. Well, that is where everything will finish here from Madison, Wisconsin, where the party continues in Madison. Forward Madison climbs to third in the USL League One table with a 2-0 triumph over 10-man Westchester. Goals from Hakeem Karamoko as well as Stephen Enorgianthi make the difference, and the Mingos prevail. For our terrific broadcast crew, I am Sam Goldfarb saying so long from Madison, where it finishes Madison 2, Westchester 0. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. From Madison, signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.